Good day, fellas. I hope you are ready for your daily dose of skill. And oh boy, we just got video release. Watch this.
All designers and engineers encounter situations when old solutions just won't cut it. So what's the answer? Experiment.
Answer is the loot boxes. What do you mean?
Surely a tank can't be both compact and well protected. Or can it? If you combine a good layout with the maximum possible armor slopes, you get the Object 452K, an experiment.
Fellas, the resource sinking has begun. You have free experience, soon you won't. You have a bit of the gold, well, you might lose it all, who knows?
Project somewhere in between an assault tank and a heavy breakthrough tank. It has an interesting look and a brutal 3D style, complete with serial number. The Object looks like it was designed for speed tests. That's right, it's one of the lowest, most streamlined Tier 10 tanks. That means it's hard to hit, and even harder to take your eyes off. If this supercar had doors, they definitely open upward. Another distinguishing feature is its armor slope angles. They're so sharp, you could use them to cut an FV4005 into 2.5 FV2002s.
If you think this tank is going to be as fast as Wargaming is presenting this, fellas, you are up for a treat.
The slopes help deflect enemy shells and dominate on uneven terrain. But only if used correctly. The armor requires a special approach, because the front hull is easily penetrated if you're right in front of an enemy. But if you hide the lower glacis plate and tilt up the upper hull on some terrain, then the Object will become a fortress. You can try to bait enemies for shots at a sharp angle, like in the Panzer 7, or the AMX M4, or you can side scrape. Doing so will make the slanted parts weak spots, but they're small and have pretty effective armor. And the turret. It's a monolith. It's a titan that holds up the sky. It's reinforced concrete. It can't be penetrated anywhere except for a small hatch you can hide.
Wargaming is presenting this tank if it would be absolutely glorious, and it is amazing, right? Looking into presentation, oh boy. Obviously, we are going to dig deeper where the armor model goes, and we are going to have a conversation about this, but let's keep watching.
Just by lifting the hull a little. The gun depression angles won't always allow you to shoot when in a position like that. You'll probably have to expose your entire hull on the hill on Westfield, for example. So pick your position carefully. But still, thinking is the key to survival in the 452K. Its gun being located at the very top also makes playing on terrain that little bit more comfortable. Above it is only sky, and the antenna, and the machine gun. At 7 degrees of depression, the gun is ready to cause damage. 560 HP.
Okay, alpha damage looks decent, penetration looks decent enough, although gold, you know, usual USSR tanks has 330 to 340 penetration, but this has 320. Looks like Wargaming is trying to lower the gold penetration, which is fair enough. DPM is okay. For 560 alpha damage, I think it is doable. Minus 7 degrees of the gun depression, that is no bueno. Dispersion is looking kind of meh, and aiming time is okay, I think.
Of damage per shot, to be precise. On top of this, the tank also has decent damage per minute, reasonable penetration with both shell types, acceptable aiming time, and good stabilization. All in all, it's well equipped to do damage. It also lets you use turbocharger instead of stabilizer, but that's up to you. The Object 452K is one of the most mobile assault heavy tanks. It accelerates well and is pretty nimble both going forward and in reverse. Turbocharger will make it feel even better, but it's not a necessity. You can focus on firepower and survivability instead. The tank's modules will thank you for improved configuration or survival improvement suite T3, for example. You set up the Object 452K in a range of different ways because it combines dynamics, armor for positional play, and impressive damage. It's an unusual vehicle full of contrasts that'll leave a lasting impression, and that you should definitely fight for in the new assembly shop.
And now the question is how you are getting this assembly store, fellas. Yeah, this is going to be quite a journey and quite interesting thing. I played with this tank couple of games. I played with pre-buffed version because Wargaming made a decision to buff it, but we are going to talk about this in a second.
The event rules are the same as before. Assemble the tank using different resources and define what and how much you want to spend using a special widget on the website. When the event starts, don't delay. Only the first half of the lucky ones will get the vehicle with its trademark 3D style. Good luck in your race for the best number.
What a great idea from Wargaming, fellas. What a great idea from Wargaming. I'm telling you, the process was, there was an Igor who was pretty much having a cigarette while looking into the card numbers. And he figured out that people are paying big money to get a nice number plate on the car. So Igor thought, let's add the same thing into the game. And you know what? It actually worked. People are going nuts for this. And, you know, I get it. You know, everyone wants to have a beautiful number. That's okay. Fair enough. Now, the most important question is, how much this tank will cost? Okay, so nothing too crazy. Looks like it's 1 million free experience, or 5,000 or 55,000 gold, or 125 million credits. Don't use the credits. It's such a bad trade. Don't use the bonds as well. If I would be you fellas, I would use probably free experience, which is the best thing to do, at least in my humble opinion. Anyways, looks like the price is clear. Now let's talk the tank. The armor of the vehicle is quite an interesting one, because if you are actually sitting on the flat ground, you can get penetrated relatively easily. I played with this, especially lower plate. It is kind of easy to deal with. Plus, this tank isn't that big of the vehicle overall. What do I mean by saying this? Look. The tank looks quite tiny, right? It's not the tall tank. It's not. It's kind of to the ground, you know, like a sports car. At least this is how I look into all of this. So whenever you are facing enemies on the flat ground, let's say if you would take something like the same E100, right? Look how taller E100 is. That being said, your armor model won't look like this. Your armor model won't look like this. Your armor model will look like this, because the tank is actually higher, right? So let's say this can be definitely an issue and definitely the problem. Plus, on top of that, your turret roof can be overmatched, right? So all E100s will slap you like there is no tomorrow. 60TP E100s because they are taller. So what is your mission whenever you are playing with this tank? To hide the weak spots, right? To stay hold down, this is one of your priorities. Also, one more thing, whenever you are side scrapping, there is this small mother trucker over there. You know what that means? This is like engine deck, right? And if tanks are taller than you are, obviously the angle is changing and it's going to be a bit easier to penetrate you. Keep this in mind. Also, if people are going to load the gold, yeah, then the shoulder can definitely be penetratable pretty much comfortably with a 310 to 320 millimeters of penetration. As you can see, you will get shredded like there is no tomorrow. So now the question is this tank so good that you need to have it? From the games I played, once again, I want to highlight that I played with a worse version of this vehicle, right? Honestly speaking, I do not really think that tank was epic or amazing or something extraordinary. It is kind of hold down tank, right? That's all there is to say. So in my humble opinion, the tank is going to be worth approximately 3 to 4 in the index page. It's not going to be epic. One more thing, which is very important thing to highlight. and it is a problem in my opinion. Look, pay attention at the amount of the ammunition. Amount of the ammunition of this tank is absolutely laughable. 30 ammo is low, okay? 30 ammo is definitely low, and it is not very, very, very good stuff. Just saying. Plus, if it is not enough, whenever you are getting hit into the lower plate, engine damage, fire, ammo rack. Engine damage, fire, ammo rack. In other words, you must use the experimental equipment. Don't use the typical hardening. Go for experimental tier 2 or tier 3, whatever you can afford for this tank if you will make a decision to buy it, right? I think it is very important thing to highlight. And obviously, to know more about this tank, tomorrow's YouTube video will come, and I will play with this tank. We'll see how the tank performs. Is it beautiful or it's not so much? And at this point, I had no chance to show you the gameplay of the vehicle because of the rules, right? So we need to wait for that for tomorrow. Anyways, love you all. Thank you very much for watching, and enjoy spending your credits in assembly store. Take care, skill is out. Peace.